Hello, Chris Clark here, and I am one of the leaders with Spinding. One of the questions I've seen out there is, Chris admin, is there a hierarchy? Well, Paul's the owner, founder, president, CEO, whatever you want to call him, and I am just an affiliate, but I have a very good relationship and close relationship with Paul. Worked with him for several years. I brought considerable amount of revenue to this company. I hosted conference calls. I've built several websites and videos for many individuals along with the company. So I guess if there was an admin role, I guess I would fit that admin role. But I do not have access to your back office. I do not have access to the control panel. I do not have access to financials. I can only see my back office. But if I need something, I can reach out to some of the key people that do have access to those things. So just to let you know from the start who I am really and how I'm affiliated with the company. Now, I want to clear up some things, and mainly about the matrix. You know, people have different ideas of how the matrix is loaded and spilled, and are concerned or have some issues about what their matrix looks like, and about the message that was put out. And the message that was put out was, we're going to spill connected to timestamp. Okay, that did happen. All right, it was timestamp, but another factor that cannot be ignored is sponsorship relationships. Now, if you can't see that and you can't, understand why that's important, then maybe this video or this compensation plan is not for you, because you want your people with you. I mean, that's just what you want, and I'm going to give you an example of why that's important in just a second. And so it was spilled by timestamp, and so I'd like to give you a couple of scenarios as to why. Now, there were some conversations about, okay, is it going to be strictly timestamp, or do we honor sponsorship relationships? And that was a very quick conversation, because the spill was done both ways. And there wasn't a huge difference in terms of how the matrix was laid out. Okay, yeah, 7 levels, full. Okay, that's how it is now. But one of the questions was, what happened to the 60,000 people? Well, the conference call was on Thursday, and there were 60,000 active subscriptions. But then people's expiration date came up the Friday, and the Saturday, and they just didn't renew. And it was a lot of positions that were piffed in. So an individual came on board, paid for 2 positions to get themselves qualified, and then just sat and waited for the tsunami. Well, that's what happened. Those subscriptions expired. People didn't want to renew those subscriptions. Okay, so it whittled it down to about 30,000, which fits to about 7 levels of the matrix. Now, if we would have spilled strictly on timestamps, do not consider sponsorship relationships, what happens is we get to level 7, and it will continue to go from left to right on level 7. Okay, now, the people on rows 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 could be decently happy with how that went down. But what about the people on row 6 and the people on row 7? Okay, now, row 6 and row 7 have several hundreds, even thousands of slots there. Now, let's say, I'll give you a scenario. Let's just say you landed on row number 7, okay? And you brought in 12 directs. Well, what happens to those 12 directs? Those 12 directs end up next to you. So now, rather than having your first line and your second line full, and then you're earning in your matrix, and then those 3 people are earning in the matrix that you helped create, and you're receiving a 50% match on those 3 on your front line as well. Rather than that be the scenario, you're going to have you and your 12 people next to you. So now you have no matrix. Your 12 people have no matrix. So you are not earning, and you're not earning a 50% match. Okay, that's the foresight that we had when it came to, do we go strictly timestamp or strictly timestamp with a sponsorship consideration? Now, let me tell you from the standpoint of the individual who did get a downline, did get some spillover, but their directs wouldn't have been with them. So if you're on row number 3, you brought in 12 people, okay? Your 12 people show up next to you, all right? Let's say they end up with a couple of duds in their spillover. People that came on board, threw some money at it, paid it forward for a couple positions and wanted to sit back and wait. Well, then what happens is now that person is confused because they're saying, wait a second, I thought I was going to be working with you, and I thought that the people that you brought in were going to be, we're going to create spillover, and now I'm over here and nothing's happening. Frustration. Now, how about this? Now I'm speaking on a personal note. I brought in some heavy hitters, okay? I want them with me. I want them on my team. I want them connected to me, and that is the opinion that I voiced. And it's because this. Let's say I end up getting somebody that's not mine, that I don't have a relationship with. I don't know what their work ethic is. I don't know what their network connections are, and they land up on my front line. I'm going to have to work harder to build rather than leverage the efforts of others, which is the whole concept of this networking game. Now I have to deal with somebody in my team that is not a producer when I brought in a producer. That's the long and the short of it. And I don't want 50% of a matrix next to me because I'm not in control of how that matrix grows. If I have 3 leaders on my front line, now whatever we do together is my matrix, but one level down from me is their matrix. So I'm building my own 50% match. And so that just made complete sense. And so if you don't have a big organization and you got a couple of people here and there, then maybe this doesn't resonate with you. But with the people that buckled down, spent sleepless nights, made videos, had conference calls, had hangouts, had all-night networking conversations, running business meetings. When that person is unhappy, that can affect so many more people. And so when it comes to the hierarchy of who does the owner listen to, let's put you in the position of the ownership. You're the owner of a company that has huge growth and huge momentum. And the momentum is created by a team of individuals. If I come up to you, I just joined, I paid $30, I paid it forward for 2 positions, I'm new to the networking industry, and I'm like, Paul, wait a second, no, you need to go timestamp because then I'm going to get spillover. Or do you listen to the person that has brought 20 directs, that has videos all over the internet, that has brought several $1,000s in revenue to the company, who is at the top position in the company when it comes to your subscription level, and has several individuals in their team at the Zulu level? Are you going to listen to that group of people, or are you going to listen to the person that has contributed $90 to the company and is sitting around and watching, and in the Facebook groups and on the boards posting all their gripes and dissatisfaction? If you want to be at the leadership table and you want to be at that circle where you're part of the decisions that are being made, you have to grow to that level. All of this, it's not going to get you there. All it's going to get is, that's just more chatter from the gallery. Okay? And I hate to be blunt about that, but sometimes in this game, that's how you need to hear it, is that you got to step your game up. All right? We cannot build this company listening to all of the concerns and gripes of 20,000 people. Otherwise, we don't have a focus. When it comes to building a business, we have a focus, we have a business plan that we have implemented, and along the way, there has been some changes that needed to be made to please the masses. So, with that being said, we're continuing with spending. We're going to move with this thing, and we're going to continue to grow it. And there's going to continue to be growing pains. And in 6 months, there's going to be another situation. And 6 months from there, there's going to be another situation. And there's always going to be situations. Can you handle it? Be the leader of your team. You may be just the leader of 3 or 4 or 5 right now. But when you're the leader of 100 and 500 and 1,000, don't be posting the negative stuff, because your group is going to see it and they're going to leave you. You're okay to be frustrated. That's okay to be frustrated. I'm frustrated. We're all frustrated. Paul is frustrated. But if you saw my email yesterday that I sent out about what's going on with the company, you can understand that a lot of the things are out of our hands. But what we're not doing is we're not laying down. We're not laying down and letting our circumstances dictate it. We're dictating the circumstances. So you can either be part of the problem or you can be part of the solution. I choose to be part of the solution. I don't have to put videos out. I don't have to send emails out. I don't have to send updates out, but I do it because it's for the affiliates. It's for the people out there that are saying that we don't communicate. That's not how you get things accomplished. You don't scream and whine and complain, badmouth, call names, talk bad about people, and expect them to do for you. Join us in this struggle. Ask how you can help out. I want to thank you guys for your time. This is a trying time for Spinding. You can see it in my passion, my emotion, that I take this seriously. I'm trying to build a business here, and I'm just like you, put my pants on one leg at a time. I hope this information has helped. This may make you angry. This may support your argument. The best thing to do right now is just to wait, because things are going on in the background. It just takes time. And when all of the gripes and the problems and the issues end up making it to Paul, he has to take time away from the business at hand to handle the chatter. Business owners don't handle chatter. There's always going to be chatter. Leaders don't handle chatter. There's always going to be chatter. What kind of leader are you? Do you lead by example, or are you part of the chatter?